All right. One of the things that's weird is that these are like people that usually aren't targets. Now, they did go for echelon in the Persian Gulf, at the port, and then at those barracks, right, in Saudi Arabia. But it's strange because the majority of the targets would usually be ranger units, sapper units, things such as that. Well, because you're all, it's almost like all rear echelon, so they become even more priority of a target than would normally be because you don't have ranger units theoretically. I mean, you have somebody out there, right? Um, but they're not, they're like, sad or something like that, and Mossad and all that kind of stuff. Right? So they're not known. Well, because these units usually don't have the discipline that you would have in the other units as far as, you know, I mean, I don't even, I'd be afraid to even take my phone. I don't know what you all do. I mean, we didn't have phones back then, so I had a Game Boy. That was about it. I was one of the lucky people. I guess my wife got me a Game Boy or something right before I left. I don't know how much I actually played it. I had it. I think I was resting. I was actually playing it before one of the tank battles started. I was like, boom, something like that. It's nighttime somewhere, and then we ended up battling all night into the morning. That's when we got a good whiff and inhale of that irradiated radium and all that. Right. So again, focus on, and again, you're depleting their capabilities. So I don't know how much longer it's going to be a risk. But again, um, operation security, electronic security, and again, you have to look into your systems. If she's communicating through a military system, is it being hacked somehow? Well, again, it's actually a perfect plan. So you have to figure out how was it compromised. Yeah, that article was very informative. But again, you always have people, especially Islam versus the West. So you're going to have people that'll give up positions. So who was watching the move? Again, you watch military vehicles pull in, and it's simple. And then they pinpoint it on the map and somehow transmit it to Iran, or they picked up on the communications coming out of there, especially if they're using a phone or something. I don't know, and maybe she went through a military system, but I don't know. I'd be afraid to actually chat with somebody at home during combat operations in that way. I guess they do it all the time. I don't know. But like it's weird. I mean, the whole thing's weird because you're even like there's nothing but like rear echelon people, but that's the new front line, I guess. Kind of, until the ground troops start operating. Well, it does. They could have gave up their location, or somebody watched them move in, or it could be the person. I don't know, where did you get the trailer? Is a military trailer? But again, soldiers, military people, they die in peacetime. It's a dangerous job. Even if without combat, people drive the vehicle off a cliff because you work so you just don't get to sleep. I caught my driver at NTC National Training Center was driving through the desert. I'm like, "Where you going?" And it's like he's asleep. And we're just driving all through the desert middle of the night. Like, yeah, it was like blackout drive. You have to follow the little light in front of you. Like he fell asleep twice. Like I woke him up and then he fell asleep again. He was a Navajo guy. He was a good guy, but he fell asleep. Driver. So you have to isolate how they figure if you haven't already figured it out. Well, because you can Kuwait might want to start looking for spy cells. It's funny, the reaction by all the Islamic countries that were aligned with Iran it's the same thing as you see that all the people aligned with the immigrant take over the United States, all their all the plans of mice and men going down the tubes. They're all freaking out. Well, they thought Khomeini was invincible, man. He was never invincible. You just don't do the right thing. I don't know. Maybe he's paying you money. I don't know. No, but it's funny because in the news, they only report, because they're only talking about, well, we took Khomeini out, we took this guy out, we took the clerics out. But you have captains and lieutenants and sergeants; they're being killed also. I don't know if you're looking at the video. All you got to do is look at the videos of what they're destroying to figure it out. Like, so again, this idea, like, why you're making all this trouble? They were leeching the world dead. They were turning us all into this bullshit existence. Not Iran, the immigrants, they're all playing a game like we weren't doing nothing. Right? Yeah, it's like Hungary during the Cold War, the way they took over Hungary. Right? Same kind of shit. They're like, oh, the CIA station got hit. Well, yeah, I'm sure, if they knew where it was, they'd try to hit it. Right? It's no big deal. This is just kind of the way it works. But eventually, they won't be able to do anything. It's just a matter of going to plan. All right, you have to get Okay, for the market, you have to get the a victory type of thing going on. Hopefully soon you'll be able to move some more stuff and say, well, we're ahead. Like you said, got I guess whatever the commanding general said, he's ahead of schedule, which is normal for that kind of stuff. Usually it goes quicker when they. But I mean, you just come up with a plan and do it. Now you got AI, so spies are going to be a problem. Now I guess once Iran's gone, then who are they going to report to? Somebody's got to. I don't know who our representative in Pakistan is. Somebody. I mean, Pakistan could just be saying, "I don't want my people revolting, and so I'll say this or say that." I mean, I don't know what's really going on, but they need to align with the. I mean, they did align with Saudi Arabia, which is good, but they're in the middle of something, and they're going to need intelligence and everything else. Right. Some weird stuff going on here. That's in Scotland. Yeah, that knife stuff over in Europe is picking up again. Right. Well, I'm just, again, the civil affairs effort is really important in the Gaza based upon what your plans are. If you don't keep up, if you don't have good people running a civil affairs, and you might, I mean, you may have pulled everybody out and Israel may have taken over the civil affairs, but you have to stay on top of things. You have to have one of those people that's detail oriented and thinks ahead, to beat the power curve, right? To stay ahead of the power curve. Well, because civil affairs is how you develop that next level of things, so you don't have to keep doing what you did. Again, this is a little bit of a different. It's funny because it comes in at the same time, but it's good that the Hill and all these people sounded the alarm, saying, "Hey, we don't have anybody working the civil affairs." And again, apparently they have food and all that, but again, you need some, again, military governor as far as civil affairs. It's all it's standard. You should have a military governor in place in the Gaza and a team of civil affairs people, and they should be working the streets, finding out, how things are working. And that's it. You visit the Palestinian leaders, you visit the Palestinian people, you ask them questions, and if you need an interpreter, you have an interpreter. I don't know, if anybody knows how to do their job anymore, or do they care? Yeah, Iran's a hacker. You have to remember that. Mossad's not the only hacker, right? But the anti-Trump administration news on Drudge is like, it's. I think the people are going to burn out on the anti-Trump stuff. I may be wrong, but it's just too much. And it's like some of it's like just like bullshit. They'll take two news articles and combine it in one headline to give a false. People may not even be reading the news articles. They just read the headline and go, "Oh my god," thinking it's something real. Yeah, anointed by Jesus thing. I don't know if it's real because a lot of propaganda that's not real. U.S. commander tells troops Trump anointed by Jesus to start Iran war. Let's send those people into the shrink. I mean, I'm a spiritual guy, but come on. Now, I might be joking around. I would, try to scare the troops. This is it. This is where the but not serious. So we're gonna actually, I'm sure there's ongoing efforts, but again, spy cells are hard to detect sometimes. So, and sometimes even in your own spy hunting organizations, you have sympathizers, right? Well, they're gonna have they're okay. I think the third plan is like terrorism, right? So you go from they might go from decentralized command to terrorist cells. Now I don't know. It sounds like you have some people on the inside that are eventually going to help out. Well, when it comes to terrorist cells, and Saudi Arabia has to watch out, Kuwait has to watch. Everybody that's being hit by Iran right now needs to watch out, and then also, of course, inside Iran. I'm not sure what's going on, and I mean, Pakistan might be simply trying to, straddle the fence so that their own people don't go crazy. I don't know what Egypt's talking about. Nobody's even thinking of invading Egypt. El Sisi or whatever his name, or Sisi or whatever it is. What are you talking about? Nobody's going into Egypt for any reason. Is there something you need to tell us about? Why we would do that? So far, you've done pretty much. I mean, you're not overly friendly, but you've done what can be minimally expected of a government power. And maybe it's just him trying to reassure his people that he's not one side or the other. But that was a very informative news article. So hoping how to give up their position, because it's actually a good plan to disperse everybody. I think the place where they were got hit anyway. I think that was one of the first places that was hit. And then they said in the news that it was an empty camp. Right. So that part too was probably wrong. However how that got out may have actually helped them try to figure out where everybody was. The question is how they figure it out. So I don't, I find it strange if she was using a cell phone and bouncing off a tower, but stranger things have happened. But then again, if she was moving to a military network, you got to find out if Iran's inside your military network somehow, tracking something. Unless you're going straight up to a satellite. And then again, that might be something they were able to track. Or it could just be simple human intelligence. Right? A Kuwaiti cleric driving by saw it and reported it to Iran. Well, stay peaceful, praise God, and all that you do, praise God.